Hello there, and welcome to the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3 with myself, ODPixel. I'm here with the beautiful Draskell, and we're ready to go into the draft of the second series of the day between the sides of Hellraisers and Team Tinker and Draskell. We're a good few picks in either side. Hellraisers with the Troll, the Bat, and Team Marino, Tinkerino, they stick with what they know. They're pretty proficient on both the Shadow Fiend and the Treant Protector.
Both opening drafts are really strong in their own right. Like Hellraisers get Troll, fantastic hero in pretty much every regard. Good laner, good carry, good everything. 6.84 can't come soon enough for some people out there. They're crying to Ice Frog, please deploy the patch soon. And they also get Bat in conjunction with it. When they picked Bat, it was at a point where the next ban phase was coming through, so obviously they take out the Venge, because Venge is one of the great counters to the hero. So they get a Bat in a really good spot, and it's also good against Tree. It's very good against any lineup that wants to try to siege, and we often see these Shadow Fiend lineups going for very tanky, like Mech, SNY, Scotty builds, or like BKBs, and then you just try to hit the tower. Even with BKB, there's always the opportunity for Hellraisers to go in with the Bat, catch out one hero, and just pull them into the base and be able to stop the push just straight there. So Team Tinker, though, they get their hands on Alina, something that we've also seen transition into kind of a core role, even if it's played as support in the beginning of the game. You just get that Aghanims up and your Yule's Scepter, and you can just blow up anybody, even a Troll.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Looking to play very nice against the Troll, and also one of those heroes that's able to keep their distance, and with the Yules, the Light Strike array, you've got a lot of control for the Warlord. And it might even have, I guess it doesn't really want to buy BKB because there's always the imminent Aghanims, as you were saying on the Lina, but it certainly makes you as a Troll Warlord player have to think considerably about what you're going to build. I mean, do you feel so far, is this again where Troll is going to have to prioritize the BKB, or will he still just keep himself safe, look for the Phase, the Helm, the Sanjin Yashin, go for the Roshan, and try and keep himself away from what the side of Team Marino?
It's hard because you don't know how much Team Tinker are going to want to try to fight.
No.
Because with a Shadow Fiend and a Tree, you could just as easily play passive as you could just go for like early towers and such. So with only the first 3 picks down from either side, it's hard to say if Hellraisers are going to feel that pressure to go BKB on the Troll. But if Team Tinker start going ham, I mean, there's definitely a possibility where you could have to skip finishing the full SNY and maybe go casual Yasha into BKB. Okay. That's been done before, and it's still very effective. Heck, even against a Tree, he might opt out of going SNY entirely and just go for Manta style instead to have an alternative method of breaking out of the overgrowth after his BKB has been popped. So there's a lot of reasons why he could just go for the BKB earlier, or he could in fact delay it. Just depends on how the game's going to be played out.
Okay, 4th pick now for the side of Team Marino, Tinkerino. They, I mean, do you kind of feel this is going to be a Lina core, or do you feel it really could go either way at this point in the draft?
Still too hard to tell.
I
think you pick Lina when you don't know if you need another, like if you want to play it as a core, or you could also play it as support.
Yeah.
So oftentimes people open the draft with either really strong picks that you know where they're going to go, but it's still hard to deal with them. So like Troll and Shadow Fiend pretty much fit into that criteria. And then you start picking heroes that have more ambiguity behind them, as in, we don't know what they're going to do, but we can fit them into what we want later. Because Batrider can always jungle. Disruptor is a support, one that they obviously needed. Also a counter to the Bat himself. So another good way of making sure that there's no Disruptor, there's no Venge against our Bat. It almost guarantees his initiation. So there's a lot of reasons why you can pick each hero at every single stage. But it's such a complex process because every time a hero is picked, everything of the draft dynamic changes up a bit, and we are going to see a Nyx here. I know you did your research between games.
I did.
And you didn't say it before they picked it,
I should have said that. I should have said that. We've seen, good old Bulba, Mr. Sam himself likes a bit of the old Nyx Assassin, and so do you, Draskell. And do you like it up against what Hellraisers have so far?
Oh my god, it's so good against Bat, and it's so good against Disruptor.
You just walk in and...
Even against Troll, it's amazing. Like, they didn't have any ways to stop the lasso, but Nyx can actually just walk into Firefly and casually pop out a Carapace, or if he sees a Flame Break, he can Carapace, and it just stops him from being able to do much. And you follow it up with an Impale and a Mana Burn, and even if the Bat's not dead, he suddenly feels a lot less safe about going in anymore, unless he has BKB or something like that. And for Disruptor, I mean, he's an in-hero with poor strength gain. What more can you ask for as a Nyx? That's the dream. And even if you get Thunderstruck, somebody on your team, you can walk close to them, also Carapace to stun the Disruptor. You can Carapace and walk into Storm, like for a second. Obviously you don't want to bathe in it, but there's a lot of possible counter plays here. And for Troll, Whirling Axes and the range version of it can also be Carapace as well. So there's plenty of things that you can abuse against their lineup.
Okay, they're going to pick up the Spirit Break at the side of Hellraisers, so evidently going to go for a bit of aggression, and it's going to be working very nicely in terms of lanes for them, in the sense that I imagine with the Spirit Breaker now, it looks like it's going to be a support Spirit Breaker, would you imagine, in this trial lane? Because surely the Bat's going to have the solo lane and the Troll is going to be in the safe lane. They wouldn't put the Spirit Breaker mid, would they?
I don't think so. Not against SF. That would be like... You want the Spirit Breaker to be on a side lane no matter what, because you want him to be charging into a lane for a gank. You don't want him to be sitting in the lane that's being ganked. It's actually counterintuitive with a Spirit Breaker to do that, because even if they know the charge is coming, it forces the people to go back, or maybe you charge from off map because you're in the off lane and they don't know if you're like stacking or something random, and then you can get a free charge because they don't know exactly where you're coming from. But I think it'll either be one of two things. They either put the Bat in the off lane and they do dual lanes, or they just do dual lane off lane and have the Troll solo against whatever Team Tinker are going to be putting in their off lane, which is probably going to be Nyx at this point. And then Team Tinker would last pick a core, and then Hellraisers last pick their second support.
I mean, I'm looking at the potentials for cores here for Team Arena, Tinkerino, and before the Spirit Breaker, I was more kind of opting towards
they're
a potential...
banning mids.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Come to think of it, Affinage doesn't have his hero yet. That's a good, good point.
Yeah, on side of Hellraisers, yeah, they still need that. And
but does he play Bat?
No, Affinage didn't play the Bat, does he?
I don't think I've ever seen him play Bat. I think it was Dread last time he played Bat.
Oh, unless it was... Oh, maybe. Maybe. I mean, Team Tinkerino, final pick. I mean, Anti-Mage is there, but now the Spirit Breaker's picked up. I don't know if that will still go for it.
It's not an AM game.
No.
Not an AM game at all. Like Bat Rider, Troll, Spirit Breaker. That's like the reverse stream. Invoker.
Invoker?
I like it.
We like it. I like it.
I think it'll probably be Exort as well.
We don't get to see a lot of Invoker. I don't think... It's been a long time since I've actually casted a game with an Invoker.
Dude, they're waiting... They're playing Invoker now because of the patch.
Maybe the patch has come out and we don't realize.
No, it's not out. I think we would have realized it because we would have been like 4 hours delayed in their game.
Okay, so Invoker.
Yeah.
So is this going to be a safe lane Invoker and a mid lane Shadow Fiend, or the other way around?
I think they'll probably put SF mid still.
Yeah.
I think Invoker needs a safe lane for farm. I think they'll probably go Exort, and then you have like double stun into Sunstrike, so you have like really good roam eventually once your Nyx gets 6. You can even hack just Sunstrike randomly for the Nyx after he has Vendetta, and that's like a hero kill right there. Like even Troll would probably come close to dying from that. But I mean, they could just as easily do what you said as well and go for the switch up where they put the SF in the safe lane and give the Invoker more priority on levels. But we'll see. But yeah, Black's playing Invoker, so I think it's going to be safe lane.
And Alpha Ninja is going to go for the Warlock, and that looks to be the Warlock in the mid lane then, up against the Shadow Fiend. And I mean, Warlock, he could be pretty scary in the mid lane.
He's very hard to get out of lane. Like, a lot of people favor going like 1 point into Fatal Bonds and then getting a lot of stats, getting the heal, and then you become extremely difficult to gank. But I haven't seen Warlock run by HR in a while, so I'm curious as if they're gonna... It seems to me like they want to just go for big fights. Like, you can force engagements really hard with your Spirit Breaker. Once your back gets blank, you can go for picks. If Team Tinker try to counter-initiate, you have Rock. So there's a lot of team fight potential going on there.
Okay, well, we've got a couple of inventive picks by both sides, something that we're not used to be seeing in the DreamLeague. So, well, it'll be interesting to see how these do end up going for both teams. It is the first game of the best of 3 between Team Tinker and Hellraisers here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3 over on the side. And let's go with the Radiant. Well, that will wrap us. Let's go with the Radiant. It was up to you, my friend. We've chosen Radiant. Quake's going to be on the Shadow Fiend, and it will be Black on that safe lane Invoker. There's going to be Lina being played up by Pylite Die. That's going to leave way too sexy on the Trian, and finally Bulba himself on that offlane. Nyx, I'm Odie Pixel. I'm here with Draskell. Draskell, what are we seeing coming out from the side of the Dire? All
right, so you got Affinage is playing on the Warlock. Gorak is going to be playing Spirit Breaker Dread. He's handling Bat here. Going to see some rune contention.
Oh, yeah. Alpha Ninja is he's going to get kind of trapped out here. Light Strike around Leech Seed. He walks into a corner. There's going to be a charge onto Quakefa, but it doesn't matter. Black's found first blood already onto your Warlock. And I think that's going to be the end of the engagement. Both sides getting themselves out. There's a fair few stacks onto Bylai Die. And we'll wait to. He's going to come in for a few punches here onto Dread. Yeah. But that is first blood for your safe lane Invoker, and you're killing the mid lane Warlock.
Not bad. Not a bad start. I do want to mention Goddamn is going to be handling the Disruptor, and then finally, of course, Artest is going to be playing Troll. But the important thing is not the first blood. It's Gorak got the rune, dude. Got the bounty rune. Bounty secured.
Come on, let's be salvaged. Yeah, let's be fair here.
No, but honestly, that was a really nice play because he sees 4 heroes going in for a kill on his mid laner, and he's like, okay, well, he's dead, but they used all their disables, so I can at least get away with the bounty.
Top lane, Boba giving Artez some, and the punches from Nyx. I mean, he's got a stun as well, and Artez. It's going to be, I don't know, I mean, a Nyx assassin trying to shut down the farm of a troll, how well can he do it?
Well, he's not going to shut his farm down, that's for sure. But he'll still get a lot out of this lane, and that's the important part. When you scout that the enemy team is likely to do dual lanes.
Ooh, bottom lane, there's going to be a charge onto Pylite Die. Dread there with the punches as well from the bat.
He's not level 2, though. No Bash Arena. But yeah, when we're talking about the off lane, anytime the enemy is going to do like a 2-1-2 and you know that it's coming, it makes the Nyx pick a lot better. Because against normal tri-lanes, the Nyx would never get anything. And he's very level reliant. Like you want like 6 and 7, and you want a pair of Arcane Boots, minimum, to be able to function. But if it's a 2-1-2, then any 2 heroes, unless it's a really, really strong zoning support, you're fine. Like you can fight against this or even just out-regen the damage that the Disruptor will be able to deal to you. So Boba might be struggling for the first few waves, but eventually he's going to get his level 6 or 7, and he's going to get his Arcanes, and that's when the Nyx really comes online.
Okay, well, we'll see how well Bob was able to fare up this game. Mid lane, 10 for 3, favoring the Warlock against this Shadow Fiend. But as always with the SF, we do kind of expect, even if the start's not great, there'll be a point where SF's just easily able to break away in terms of CS.
No doubt about it. I mean, his team could even stack for him since he has 2 supports towards bottom lane. So either Pylite Die or Way 2 will make their way into the jungle and a couple of stacks. And even if Quakefoot dies mid, it doesn't really matter because he can just go in and recover very quickly. Courier attempting to be scouted here by goddamn, but he's not going to see it. Oh my god, is he? Is it? Oh,
he's going to find it! Oh no!
He's not good. Oh, he's waiting. No, this is a good call. Oh, it's got the bottle too. He waited for the bottle. What a player.
God damn.
Dude, the mind games.
Quakefoot's not happy.
Quakefoot intentionally moved his courier so that didn't happen. Sunstrike hits him, and they get the kill.
Okay, so he loses the bottle, but he does get a kill.
Still bad.
It's
still really bad.
Yeah.
Like, losing the bottle is terrible.
But at least he gets the kill off the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been worse if he didn't get the kill, but obviously that was some next level play. I don't know if he anticipated the bottle transfer, because if he clicked on the courier first and saw that there was no bottle, then it walking forward could only have meant one thing, and that was that he was sending it back to Crow. So if he actually realized that, that was a super next level play. Very good snipe, even with the death.
Very nice indeed from Goddamn. And especially now that the fact that the Shadow Fiend hasn't got the bottle regen in the mid lane, especially up against a Warlock. I imagine he's now got 3 points in the curse. If we have a look at the Warlock Alpha Ninja, it's still just 2 points. He's nearly hitting level 5. It's a fair bit of damage to be taking, especially as a Shadow Fiend who hasn't got a large HP pool.
Warlock's one of the lesser run mids, but people forget often how ridiculously annoying he can be. He hits for 82 damage at like 3.5 minutes into the game. Even comparative to a Shadow Fiend with 22 souls, he's pretty close in terms of base damage. And like I said, harassing him out of lane, not an option. He'll always be able to heal up.
Indeed, 2-0 at the moment for the side of Team Tinker, but of course with that little bit of a loss in the mid lane here for the Shadow Fiend, things are even out across the map. And I mean, yeah, CS-wise, it's still fairly close, and SF's just going to have to play it a little bit careful for the time being. Only 45 seconds more to endure for the bottle to come back out, so all things kind of bear in mind, he's not doing too bad for the fact that he's not at the bottle for these 3 minutes.
Shadow Fiend is one of the best heroes to snipe from because his raises are the bread and butter of his laning phase. So if he can't trade with raises and like try to harass the enemy mid, even if Affinage doesn't crush his lane, he really only needs to get to his Midas and then try to work his way towards Aghanim. So the easier time he has getting to the Midas, the faster Aghanims comes out, the faster he gets level 11, and the snowball effect of a Warlock can be pretty devastating if he gets even a little bit of an easier lane, and that's pretty much what the Courier Snipe has allowed for him at this moment.
And I mean, Black here on the Invoker in the safe lane, having a great time with his farm. He's got the Gloves of Haste, and he is now just 200 gold off the Midas, around 5 minutes in. So this is going to be a very nice Midas timing on your safe lane Invoker.
And then Midas is also core on like any Invoker, pretty much, like even if you're playing Quaswex. I think the X-Sword is nice, just because we talked about the stun potential from the Nyx and the burst into a Sunstrike. Just a little bit of communication, and it gives you almost global killing power, just landing it right after the stun comes out from Vendetta. So yeah, I like Team Tinker's draft quite a bit. It's just going to be up to Hellraisers to see if they can force the issue once they get up their Midas on their Warlock and such.
Dread now has left the bottom lane, and well, he's looking for some farm here in the jungle. Boba does find him out, but Boba's going to be charged now by Spirit Breaker. There's also Alpha Ninja coming in as well. Has the ultimate if he needs to, but he's got the level 3 in the curse. This is going to be a lot of damage going on to Boba. He will find the stun and walk it off. He is fairly tanky with that base regen as well. They do throw down the Golem. They want to find this kill, and with the body blocking there very nicely from Alpha Ninja, he does find the pick off there onto the Nyx Assassin. And maybe with the ult now in the mid lane, he can look to apply some pressure to the tier 1 as well.
That was such a next level ult. A lot of Warlocks would have just not dropped the rock for that, but just the foresight to drop it in that spot because he knew it was a choke point and he knew that he could body block with it, and dropping it in the right area as well, like in front of the Knicks in the first place. And then, yeah, that was just very nicely executed. Small stuff like that can make a player look really, really skilled. And obviously Affinage being, in my opinion, one of the star players on HR, just his play is always stellar. Like every time I watch him, no matter what hero he's playing, he plays well.
And I mean, all things said and done, Hellraisers are certainly doing a lot of very efficient maneuvers at the moment. With 6 minutes in, Troll did go straight for the Helm of the Dominator, and he's already sending a creep over to the Ancients to start getting those stacks going as well. And oh dear.
It's a patch.
Oh boy. Bulba is going to DC for the time being. But looking at how the lanes are going so far, do you feel that anyone is evidently coming out on top here, or is everything's going good for both sides?
It's kind of the same for both, but we also have to keep in mind that HR have a very different game plan, I think, than TT. Like, Team Tinker are probably going to go for picks most of the time. I mean, that's why you pick an Invoker with Sunstrike is, one, if you go 4-0-4, so 4 quas 4 XOR, you can get double Forge Spirits to push, which is great. But the Sunstrike addition to the gank, I think, is one of the primary reasons that they wanted this, because there's a lot of heroes on HR that just die to that gank. Like, the Spirit Breaker and the Troll are probably the only two who can live through just Bulba and a Sunstrike. So once he gets to that point, it's going to be really scary for HR. But HR have the ability to 5-man with their Warlock Golem, and they also have good initiation with the Batrider. Now, Dread's blink timing is going to be really important here, because if he can get it up before Team Tinker start really controlling the map, it means that HR will have an opportunity to start forcing their own kind of engagements and trying to fight around Affinenge's ult. And if they can get some towers down, Roshan's really easy with a Troll. We've seen it time and time again. There's a lot of capability of snowballing on either side here.
Talking about snowballing, the Black Invoker, as we just saw, had got his Midas at the 6-minute mark. So he's going to be able to start getting the ball rolling here and heading into the jungle to find some farm as well with the Forge Spirits, allowing the lane to go to Lina so we can get some more levels on our Lina, who's doing pretty well at the moment. I believe she was halfway through level 4 when we last saw her. Yeah, she's now hit level 5. So Pilar is going to be able to get the Laguna Blade on fairly shortly. Garet's heading into the Radiant jungle. He'll see Black and he will back off. He doesn't quite fancy that on his own. I mean, we are 7 minutes in. Is it much of an issue that the Spirit Breaker hasn't really been able to do that much?
It's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, as long as your Batrider is getting some farm, as long as your Troll is not being obstructed in his lane, and Affinage is starting to fall a bit behind, but Warlock versus Shadow Fiend, it's an inevitability. Like, Shadow Fiend's always going to win in the end if he doesn't get ganked. So, Bottle Snipe or not, Quake's doing fine. I think it's not a huge deal as long as Gorak doesn't do any feeding, which he might here.
Indeed, coming in with the Cold Snap, Light Strike Array and the Dragon Slave flying through, and with the damage from the Forge Spirits, easily going to be a kill there for the Radiant. Lina will pick that one up and get some gold into her pocket. So very, very nice indeed. And notable, looking at Quake's Shadow Fiend build, I can't remember the last time we saw this, but this is a Shadow Fiend that is going to be going straight for the Yules and is bypassing the mech totally. I mean, what makes this game different to all the other games we've seen in DreamLeague with Shadow Fiend?
It just makes me think they don't want a 5-man HR. Like, if you're going to buy a mech, you want to fight 5 versus 5, or at the very least, you want to try to take some decent engagements. The Yule says to me, he wants a solo killing power. It's great against Bat. It's great against the Spirit Breaker as well, because if you see the Spirit Breaker charging you, you just Yules him. And that way you're no longer a focus target, and you can't really be ganked by the Spirit Breaker ever. It's kind of the same safety that a Linken's offers you, but instead of having to just stand there and watch your Linkens get popped, and it's like, oh, I got charged, whatever. Now you have to actually position yourself right and know that the Spirit Breaker is coming before you can Yules. In the end, it will have the same effect. It will increase his farm rate, makes him faster too, which is great. But the other reason he's probably doing it is because the mana cost is going up by 100 in the patch. And you probably won't see Shadow Fiend with Yules anymore after that.
Indeed. I mean, talking about the Yules pick up on the Shadow Fiend, you're saying that how that lends towards the solo killing potential. Do you think, looking at Black's build, he picked up a Staff of Wizardry off the back of that, oh no, with the Belt Strength, so it is going to be the Necro for Black, so he's looking to go for that pushing build with the Exort, which I guess you kind of expect.
Yeah, Exort is usually always built this way in competitive games. They didn't have amazing pushing power because Shadow Fiend was the only person who had any kind of tower right click. But if you have a really nice gank lineup, you need something to supplement your push power, and Exort Invoker safe lane farm is very good. The Chinese teams did this quite often, even just a couple of months back. So it definitely has its benefits, and this tower potentially going to go for a deny? Nope, Gorak is scared. He's terrified.
Gretz does have the backup of the Disruptor, but both heroes just kind of halfway through level 5. They don't have the ultimates available, either of them. So yeah, they won't really be able to do much in response to that. And I mean, Lina, she's got a Stealth of Wizardry and a Sage's Mask on top of the Tranquils 10 minutes in. This is your support Lina that's almost certainly also going to have a fairly good timing on the Yule Scepter.
It's because Black has just used his Forged Spirits to jungle with.
Yeah.
Like, he's never really eating the lane. After he got his Midas, I want to say is when he just stopped going to lane entirely. And the sad thing is, that's normally when the Spirit Breaker would be able to do a lot, because if you see a hero in the jungle, it's like, okay, well, I'll just charge the hero in lane, and I'll just try to kill that. But they haven't even been able to go for kills. So even with the ward that they have in the jungle, they haven't felt confident in being able to charge Black at all. They're just kind of sitting there doing their own thing. And I think that is a little bit concerning, because Team Tinker will eventually start to pull ahead just in overall farm. And then this Nyx now has his Arcanes. He's got almost level 7 and 1 CS. We're going to start seeing some movement from Tinker, I think, soon.
We might see some movement as well from Hellraisers, because Batrider now 10 minutes and a half in has got the Blink Dagger completed, heads back to base, will pick up a smoke as well, and we'll see who he decides to try and make a bit of action happen against first. I mean, if you're Hellraisers looking at the map now, where do you think you kind of head towards as a Batrider?
I kill that Lina. Yeah. That Lina's super far up. They had a ward in the jungle too, so they'll know if he stays in lane or not. Like, most people are not just going to run straight back to the tower. Here we go.
Pylai die. He is backing up. He senses some in his spidey senses a tingling. He does throw back a Dragon Slave. Very nice there, stopping the blink from Dread. So all in all, very nice play from Pylai die, getting himself out.
I don't know how he was allowed to stay there for that long. Like, that Spirit Breaker was playing so passive. And he's seen Black the whole time. Like, he knows exactly where he is, and he's just not willing to throw out a charge on the Lina at all. I mean, worst case scenario, he turns to stun the Spirit Breaker, and that gives the Bat time to close distance to be able to get his blink off. And he will have to stun. Like, if he doesn't stun, then he gets ulted right away, and oh, goodbye, Disruptor. We talked about that.
Into Sunstrike.
That combo kills 3 heroes on that team 100% of the time. Maybe even the Warlock too, depending on how tanky he is. Nah, not Warlock, never mind. He's got a point booster.
They're going to go for a charge here onto Bulba. There's the backup of the Troll and the Batrider as well. Batrider, of course, still does have the Firefly.
So greedy.
He's in a lot of trouble here. He does hang around for the CS, takes another strike to the face. They are going to need to use the Firefly, the Batrider lasso here, because, yeah, Bulba will go down. He does manage to cause a little bit of damage in return, but that one's going to go close to dying as Gretz is topped up by the heal from the Warlock. And there's going to be a push to the mid lane for the time being. Way 2 and Qualifier doing what they can to the tier 1. But yeah, they're finding pick up onto Bulba. Now they're going to try and apply some pressure here to the top lane. Lina is hanging around. She's level 8, and she has still got that Laguna Blade ready to go. There'll be a charge now onto the mid lane from the Spirit Breaker, looking towards Qualifier. Qualifier standing here by the tier 1. Fortification will come out, will take a charge to the face, and there's Dread with the blink with the lasso into the Static Storm. But Qualifier, he actually gets dragged out of it, so he'll walk it off. He does get glimpsed back into it. He's still alive, looking for the Requiem. Will only get the death one off, though, as he does get taken down. But, I mean, the lasso nearly kind of saving him from the Static.
Yeah, he actually did drag him out of the kinetic field as well, so that was not the play. Way 2 got the last hit on the tower, so in the end they end up trading their Shadow Fiend for a tower last hit. That's not too bad. I think if he had gotten that Requiem off, he would have actually killed like 2 or 3 people, because that was a level 2 Requiem, and the Death Requiem took our test to like 60% health. They're going to have the Nyx come in here, I think, and just go for the kill.
Yep, Artis could be in trouble here. He's chilling around, farming up the entrance. There is your stun and the Sunstrike to secure the deal. More money in the pocket of Black now, who's now on a killing spree on this Invoker, who's pretty much just sat in the jungle and farmed.
He's got 3,000 gold. He can get Necrobook 2 right now. If he saves up a little bit more, he can go for the 3rd one, and it'll be at around 15 minutes in, and that's a pretty darn early timing. And that push is very hard to deal with, like Necrobook 3.
Pylai die coming in with a newly brought Yule Scepter into the Light Strike Rare, a couple of raises, and a looking to blade to the face. Final punch there from Qualifier, bringing Warlock over the edge, and that's a nice kill there for the side of Team Tinker to find. I mean, this Warlock,
nice smoke.
There was a nice golem in the mid lane, obviously onto Bulba, but other than that, we haven't really seen Alpha Ninja do that much in this game.
It's like an inherent flaw of Warlock, is that sometimes you get focused before you can drop your ulti. Like, you heard the base drop, but it didn't actually come out because he got Lagooned in the face. So the fact that they can already kill him like that, he hasn't farmed his Aghanims yet. I think he probably would have been better served getting the Ogre Club instead of the Staff of Wizardry for that reason alone. Like, they can burst him really heavily. But they need to fight around his ulti, and they need to try to maybe think about 5-manning a bit sooner rather than later, because they haven't killed a single tower, and they're never going to get Roche against Team Tinker with the scouting of Sunstrike and Forge Spirits. So they need to make sure that they try to force some kind of issue soon. I don't think they can let this go on any longer. Like the kind of farm and map presence that Team Tinker have is just too great.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, we see obviously Shadow Fiend and Invoker Quake from Black at the top of the CS board, and in terms of net worth for the individual heroes, it's also evident as well. Top lane, Hellraisers, they've got the full roster here, trying to get a push onto the tier 1, but at the same time, Team Tinker, they're looking to take a tier 2 of their own here on the bottom lane. As, well, yeah, the recipes for the Necro book will be coming out for the side. To Black in the mid lane as he's going for a little bit of a push of his own, and it looks like they'll be happy to sack the tier 1 on the top lane, because bottom lane, both the Nyx and the Tree were doing what they can here against the tier 2, and Black in the middle lane with the level 3 Necro, 15 minutes in on top of the Midas. That's 8.5k gold. I mean, this man, he could teach old MacDonald how to farm.
He honestly will destroy anybody. Like, he could kill a troll, he could kill the Spirit Breaker, Bat, Warlock, you name it, he can kill it. Like, with Book 3 and double Forge Spirits with a Cold Snap, you are dead.
Oh, Goretz, he's going to get the side bash onto Black as he charges through. Will cancel it, doesn't want to head straight in, and the dust comes out. They found Black here, and Black's taking a serious amount of damage from Artez, and they will be able to kill the Invoker. Warlock getting the goal for the killing spree there off the Black Invoker. And Way2 in the jungle. He's going to get Lasud as well, charging from Goretz. So he's looking for a few bashes. He's going to use the Nether Strike, but the Overgrowth holds him back. There's your Nether Strike, slightly delayed, but still gets the job done. 2 heroes down on Tinker. Qualifier will be able to TP out in the tree line.
Yeah, they get the tier 2 out of that, and Quake gets the last hit. So he's got his Blink Dagger, his Euls, his Shreds, and they're also applying pressure to tier 1 top, and Pilot's almost level 11. Damn. This guy has been given a really, really easy game. Like, he only had to sit bottom and farm. Like, that's all he's had to do this game, and of course he got that really nice Euls gank on F-inch top when he couldn't get his ulti off and just died before. But that incidental charge, like Gorek just casually with the drive-by, it's like, oh, there's an Invoker here. Let's just turn around and kill him instead. That was really unfortunate for Black, because he had no idea. They don't have any wards in that particular part of the map. There's only one, like, very deep in the woods. But Roshan now going to HR. That was a very big turnaround for them, and they desperately needed that. And with that fight, or that Roshan, F-inch is almost to Aghanims too.
Okay, oh boy. It's Troll Warlord. He's gone for the Sanjin Yasha to finish up. We're not going to see any kind of early BKB coming out from the lad. And I think Quakefer, he definitely had the recipe for the BKB picked up. Did he have any of the other components? No, he didn't. He's just starting off the BK build with the recipe.
Yeah, it's, you know, some people do that from time to time. If you feel like you can't save up maybe for the next item, or you don't want to go back to base, or you don't have the inventory space for it, there's a lot of reasons. Sometimes he might just be saving for buyback too.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, they do lose the bottom tower. Hits the push from Hellraisers, but again, Team Tinker looking for the favorable trades here, putting pressure onto the tier 2 on the top lane. And Alpha Ninja now with enough money and does indeed buy up the completed Aghanims. He's level 12 as well, so does have the second point in the rock golems. No, well, they're not the rock golems. That won't be very good. The golems. Oh, Bulba. He's been spotted out by the sentry that's just been popped down. Charge coming through as well. The Overgrowth will buy some time for Bulba, but he still ticks out to the Firefly damage from the Batrider. And Way2, he's able to get himself out of the range of the sentry, but Dust is there. They lose the Tree Man as well. They do lose 2 heroes yet again on the side of Team Tinker, and the tier 2 is held up for the time being.
Maybe a little bit optimistic, thinking they wouldn't have a sentry down somewhere. I mean, that's a very common D-ward area, and they were sitting up top for quite a while, so maybe Sam just hoping for the dream that they wouldn't have detection down. Unfortunately for him, that was not the case. And they, like you said, they denied the tower, but they still have lost all of their outer tier towers at 18 minutes in. That's not necessarily a great position to be in if you're HR, especially considering you have not yet really utilized your Warlock ulti one time in the form of a push. It's only been used to gank. So I really do think that with their advantage of Aegis on the Troll, they gotta try to do something. Like, they need to try to initiate with the Bat, get more than just a couple of picks, because even though those picks are okay, like, it gives you golden experience, sure, but you're not getting any objectives. You're not forcing the pace of the game. You're just getting return kills for the enemy playing aggressive.
Seems like they're heeding your advice, and they are going to go straight down to the mid lane. Fortification will come out onto the tier 1, but they continue to push away. On the sidelines, Way2 on this tree, and it has got the Overgrowth back available and back off cooldown. The Blink Dagger now picked up on Black on the Invoker on top of his level 3 Necro. So he'll be able to get himself in position and maybe look to fight a little bit more head-on against this push that's going to continue to come out from Hellraisers. Drop down a sentry just to make sure that Bulba can't get himself nice and close with the Vendetta, and there's not going to be any kind of sneaky plays coming out with Nature's guys as well. Going to drop down a sentry of his own here, way too, but of course it's on the opposite side of the lane to the Dyers. Well, he's maybe looking for initiation. He's got the backup of both Lina and Nyx on the high ground, but Shadow Fiend, Qualifier is in the Dire jungle, and at the same time, Black's just looking for the split push here, avoiding the engagement entirely, and looking to just get this momentum right up to the high ground of the Dire side. They do lose the tier 2 mid. And what's the plan now? Do they want to keep going? Well, there's going to be a Yules up on the Disruptor, and now a charging response onto Pilot Die. The Light Strike Array and the stun from Nyx catches both of them. Kinetic Field and Static Storm will bring down Pilot Die. Down goes the ROG. They're trying to find way to as well. He's getting low. Artez with the punches. Living Armor comes out. It's going to be enough to keep the tree alive. They've caught him out with the Overgrowth Control. Troll will lose the Aegis. Qualifier goes down. There's going to be Black coming in, trying to clear up with the Tornado and the Deafening Blast. They find the Spirit Breaker. Afro Ninja goes down as well. Artez on the trolley trying to fight up with his second life. He will be able to bring down Black on the Invoker. Now he turns to Bulba. He gets the Nyx as well. It is a double kill for the Troll, but he does go down. Black with a double kill as he finds Troll Wallet as well in this fight. It looks like Dread might go down as well. He gets himself out of the base, but the leader right click flies through. The ball charge is there to keep him alive. He's going to look to TP out. Can the Necro units find him? Yes, they can, but he's out in time. He is out in time, and it's a bit of a messy fight there. But 3 for 4. Buyback on the Pilot Die Lina. But overall, just favouring the side of Hellraisers by just over 1,000 in terms of gotten XP.
I would actually say that wasn't good for Hellraisers. Like, Artez super overcommitted. Even got crazy lucky and got a first hit bash to get his second kill.
Yeah, on Bulba, yeah.
But they lost the Aegis. They dropped Golems.
Yeah.
And the tower is still at almost full HP, and it will be healed back to full because of the Treant. So Pilot Die buying back isn't really that big of a deal.
What if Pilot Die dies here?
Well, I mean, obviously it's not going to be good, but he saw it coming. So.
He knew.
That's the strength of the Yules. It's like an instant cast, boom, you can't charge me anymore. You know, I mean, Qualifier kind of got caught out in an interesting spot. Like, think of what Artez did the other day when he was playing PL, and he just got RP'd because he teleported in. That kind of happened to Qualifier, but with Lasso. So he teleported in Vision, and then Dread just immediately jumped him, so he popped without using any of his abilities.
Vendetta into the old Impale, into the Sunstrike, and the nuke brings goddamn low. He does pop the stick charges, and he's going to be able to get out of it. Not enough burst damage. Now the glimpse onto your Bulba, and there's going to be a charge from Goretz. It brings it very close to the Disruptor, but everyone's there to back up, goddamn, ensure that he doesn't go down and ensure that they do find the kill onto the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, that was pretty ambitious. That's a very tanky Disruptor. He's got 1,250 health. Good God, that is a lot of HP.
For the Aghanim Scepter on the Disruptor.
Oh, it's crazy good. Like, you lasso somebody into an Aghanim Static Storm, they can never pop BKB, because Aghanims disables the item usage. So if you don't already have the BKB on when you go into the storm, it's very, like, you're dead, basically, if that happens to you. So against heroes like Shadow Fiend, who rely on BKB to be able to get their ulti off, if you ever catch him out, it pretty much assures a kill. And plus, it's very hard to BKB against a Disruptor Aghanims, because if you get caught with a storm before BKB, like I said, you can't activate it. So sometimes you're forced to BKB crazy early, and then the enemy team can bait you out, and then you just, it's really hard to play against that as any BKB buyer.
Black continues to do what he's been having the most luck with so far this game, just getting the split push on, and he will get up to the high ground onto the tier 3. Hellraisers, they're probably going to need to react to this, because tier 3 is down to half health. They do send back the Disruptor. Goddamn, we'll just try and clear this one up. There's a charge coming in as well from the SB.
He'll hug the top of the lane, I think, and wait and just try to tornado him.
Oh, Bulba trying to go in on Artez, and Artez trying to go in Qualifier. Laguna Blade comes out, brings down the Bat Rider. Overgrowth holding Artez in place in the final raise from Qualifier. Will find himself a double kill. That'll be a tornado from Black, cancelling the charge from Goretz, but Goretz does have the Nether Strike. He's on his own, though. Disruptor was chasing down the lane, but now, as we said, nah, mate, we're not killing Black today.
Yeah, he's super confident as well, because he held his Ghost Walk Invoke, so he knew that he wasn't going to die there. Black just with the confidence. That's good to see.
Maybe going to try and come back in. He's got the backup of Bulba and also Pilot Die here on the Lina. Goretz, he's going to have to want to go straight back to base here, because these guys might be able to catch him. He has indeed popped the active element of the passive to give him that boosted speed to get back to base. And he will do indeed. He's coming back out with the lane. He's going to charge Pilot Die. Can Team Sync react? Goretz, he smells something fishy, and he does back off. He's not a fan of the old cop.
Well, I'd say that was probably a good call on his part, because he would have very likely died. They did have Rock, though, so I'm not entirely sure if the whole team fight would have favored Team Tinker, but they most certainly would have lost their Spirit Breaker. Team Tinker, though, they back up. There's almost an Aghanims on Pylai. Like, he's going to hurt a lot soon. He's 14.5, so 16 plus Aghanims equal Troll, not really having the time of his life. And to be honest, like Artes, even though he's very close to the BKB against what Team Tinker have on its own isn't really that great, because you can still get Overgrowth, you can still get Lagooned, because Pylai's farm is nuts. And Quakefa still hits pretty hard, and also has a BKB of his own. So I don't think he has enough yet, quite in the tank, to be able to stand up to what Team Tinker have. And that's not even including Black with his Necro 3 and Forge Spirits, and an Alacrity. Seemingly now also going for either a Scotty or a Hex, but I'm probably guessing Hex.
Okay, Hellraisers sending up to the top lane. Artes still the top net worth on the side. Aghanims indeed now complete for Pylai on the Lina. And I mean, so we've got the Alpha Ninja on the Warlock. He is working towards his Refresher's Orb, has the Oblivion Staff component, and he's just a few hundred away from picking up that Perseverance as well. And I mean, Refresher Warlock ult, that can really turn around a team fight.
Yeah, but you need to find the proper engagement.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know for sure that you're either taking the team fight 100% or you're pushing, or the enemy team is fully committed. The thing about Team Tinker's lineup is they don't have to commit to fights. Their team is actually fairly good at running away. They have like Tornado, Ice Wall, and Ghost Walk on Black. Shadowfiend can blink, has Yules. Lina has Yules. Nyx has stuns. Like, you have Overgrowth and Tree Armor. There's a lot of ways that they can get out of a fight. That's the hard part about utilizing Warlock most of the time. Think of it like a silencer. You want something that says, the fight is here, you have to fight here.
This would be a nice time for a Warlock up. They're all grouped up here in the pit, but Warlock's still in the dire jungle. Artes will find Wave 2 here. There's going to be a charge from Goretz as well. Wave 2 will go down, so they do dispatch the Treant, but the space is created for the rest of the side of Team Tinker to find themselves Roshan and maybe fight. Light Strike Array catches out Goddamn. He pops down the Static Storm straight away, but everyone on the side of Team Tinker just obviously disengages, and they're not going to hang around in that anytime soon.
Yeah, they dodged a bullet there. Had the Static Storm or a Glimpse caught any hero on Team Tinker, it probably would have resulted in a kill. And I don't even think Quakefa had a BKB. Nope, he definitely didn't. So only losing Wave 2 for Roshan, I think Team Tinker will be more than happy to make that trade. Considering the rate at which Quakefa is farming, he's almost 100 CS ahead of the Troll, and in terms of overall net worth, he's around 2,000 ahead. So he is kind of increasing the gap as the game progresses forward. And with the use of an Aegis, I think Team Tinker are feeling pretty good about the situation.
I mean, Bulba on the Nyx Assassin on top of his Blink Dagger as well. He's got himself 1,100 gold, so yeah, it's looking fairly nice for Team Tinker after that Roche. Artes, he's still a fairly big issue on this Troll Warlord. Of course, with the farm he's got, and the fact that Dread with the BKB as well is going to easily be able to lock someone down in these fights. They're going to smoke up in the mid lane. Who's going to be their target? Black, he's at the Ancients. Black, he could be in trouble if they find him. He's going to blink away preemptively, and that might have just saved Black's life there. Artes is looking to kind of chase into this top lane, see if he can find anyone, and now he will see Black. There's going to be a charge onto Black. He could be in trouble here. He heads into the tree line. He will get bashed, of course, into the Nether Strike. He's in the cliff at the moment. He does throw out a tornado. Warlock gets dropped, and, well, Dread is on the lasso onto Quakefa. Will bring down the Shadow Fiend for the first time. Black is still alive throughout this all. Overgrowth holding Artes in place through the magic immunity, and Black just TP's out. He's managed to escape himself from this engagement. They found the Spirit Breaker. Artes trying to go on Quakefa, but Quakefa with the BKB is pretty hard to bring down. Alpha Ninja is low, and Bulba with the Vendetta Strike will bring down the Warlock as well. 2 heroes down. Artes will try and TP out, but the TP gets cancelled by the Yules. Takes a Sunstrike and a Light Strike Array to the face. 4 heroes down on the side of Hellraisers. The Warlock Golems doing what they can, but they can't bring anyone down. 4 for 0 trade, and Black getting out at the beginning of that fight. Fantastic reaction there from Team Tinker. So there was point for, well, he died. He lost the Aegis, but he didn't die a second time.
Okay, so when they started that fight, I thought that the Black was going to just try to immediately TP, but instead what happened was he got bashed through a tree, had his Necro Book spawned, and then summoned Forge Spirits, which blocked the pathing of the Spirit Breaker and the Troll. So neither one of them could actually hit Black anymore, and he was just trapped in a corner by himself with Forge Spirits and Necro Book surrounding him. So when the bat went in, he wanted to try to go in to secure the kill on Black because he had to break the trees for the other heroes to be able to hit him, or at least give some kind of vision. And then they just got completely pulled out of position because instead of the bat going for initiation and stopping like the Shadow Fiend, for example, or even like the Lina, they just had free reign. And even if Quakefa loses the Aegis for that, I'm pretty sure he'll trade an Aegis for 4 hero kills.
Bottom lane, there is a charge from Goretz coming in onto the Nyx Assassin, but Nyx Assassin Bulba backs up behind the tier 2. He's not going to want to commit to that one. 29 minutes in, double damage found there by Qualifier. On top of the Lincoln Sphere, BKB and Yules. This guy is pretty hard to kill, so it was indeed a Lincoln Sphere for the Shadow Fiend with their ultimate orb.
Yeah, I like it. I think Scotty is also okay in the situation, but just giving yourself the added bonus of never being able to be charged, being able to show yourself in lane to farm against Spirit Breaker, that's great. It's obviously good against Lasso, and even Glimpse. There's a lot of very high priority single target spells that you want to break, and not a lot of spells that break Lincolns that are useless. So like, I guess you could throw out like a Shadow Word or something like that, and that would block the Lincolns, but it's very hard to get in range to even use that skill. So for what it is in this game, I'd say Lincolns is maybe one of the most valuable purchases you can make on a hero like Shadow Fiend.
Okay, Warlock, he's very close to level 16 and he's about 600 gold away from his recipe as well for the refreshes. So he'll almost certainly have that up and ready for the next team fight. Top lane, Team Tinker applying some pressure here with the help of the Lina, the Trin and the Shadow Fiend. He's around, he's back in the jungle at the moment. Nyx Assassin working on a Yule's Scepter for himself as well. So Yule's boys is certainly coming out. Way too did in the end go for a Blink Dagger on the Treant rather than doing what we normally see trees go, just rush straight for the Aghanims.
The blink is nice. He's getting caught a lot.
Oh, right? Ninja getting Laguna Bladed. Vendetta Strike, he's still alive. He will go down to the final punch from Pylite Die. Nether Strike onto the Lina. In comes Way2 with a very clutch overgrowth onto 3, holding them back. Light Strike Array and Dragon Slave onto Goretz. Now in comes Quakefer with the raises, with the punches. Goretz will be able to charge and get himself out of this fight. Yule's Scepter onto the Troll Warlord. Gets caught out by a Light Strike Array. Do they have to follow up control? They do now with the Sheep Stick, picked up by Black. And with the final right clicks, do bring down Artez. Dread goes down as well as a double kill here for Black in the mid lane. 3 heroes falling on the side of Hellraisers, and none of them have a buyback available to defend from what is going to be the inevitable high ground push here coming out from Team Areno Tinkerino.
It's the standard no detection versus a Nyx strat. Boba only was able to go in there because they didn't actually have sentries down, and that's the one big difference. Like I was going to mention, how everyone kept getting caught by the like the Treant kept getting caught and the Nyx kept getting caught under sentries and dying at the beginning of the fight, and that's why HR were having such an easy time, because every time TT went aggressive, they ran under a sentry, lost a hero before the fight started, Team Tinker have to back. At that time, they didn't have detection, so as soon as the jump happens, the Warlock doesn't get his ulti off. As soon as golems are not out, the hero might as well not even be in the game. Like, the Warlock for me, it's not that Affenenge played it poorly, it's just that he never had a whole lot of opportunities to take the big engagement that he wanted, and his team couldn't force the fight hard enough to make them fight around the golems. So the Warlock for me was kind of mediocre at best. Maybe give Affenenge a hero that can have more impact in the next game, because I really don't know if HR can come back from like stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big fight for the side of Team Tinker to say. Looking at the net worth difference between the heroes just individually, there's a 4k gap between the Troll and the Invoker, and there's now about a 6k in fact, between, of course, Quakefer on the SF and your Affenenge, Warlock and the Troll Warlord Artez also falling behind. And overall, looking at the graphs now, coming up to 16k in terms of net worth and about 20k in terms of XP. That's a big difference. I mean, it is 32 minutes.
But that's only a couple of fights, right?
It literally is, yeah.
It's the difference between like 8 minutes of play and Team Tinker being able to get Roshan, win a really big fight, then win another really big fight and get a set of racks.
Ooh, Boba. The old invis, it's been working out most of the time, and well, Quakefer setting it up with a Yule's Scepter, Requiem of Soul into the Impale. Nyx Assassin there with a final tickle to push Goretz over the edge. That's your Spirit Breaker down for 45 seconds, and they're pushing, coming in from on the bottom lane and potentially on the top lane as well, as Alina's working her way in with the Forge Spirits. And what? Oh, he's just baiting the ult. He's messing around with it, and he is very close to the refreshers. He's very close to being able to pick that one up here, Affenenge. But is it going to be enough at this point? I mean, it's going to make it slightly hard to push it into the high ground, but how far Team Tinker are ahead, I don't know if they'll be that kind of phased by it.
No, not at all. I mean, they have all this team right now. It's going to be up to HR if they can take like a big turnaround engagement. Having the refresher on the Warlock, that is kind of a big ticket item. He's level 16 too, but I'm really like doubtful that the double ulti is even going to be enough at this point, because Artez has not had really any item progression after the BKB. And Ultimate Orb is nice, but it doesn't really have the same kind of sting as Quakefa picking up a Lincoln's, for example, a little bit earlier into the game, or even having like 3,500 gold saved up and an item on its way. Yeah, so he's going to have a full butterfly if he buys it, but I don't know if he's going to save for, no, he's not going to save for buyback. He's like, nope, screw that. I don't need it. Butterfly it is.
That's confidence. That's confidence.
Yeah, I want to go back a little bit while we have the time. Like, both teams are quite far away from each other right now. So
give us the old lowdown on the showdown, Dresco.
Yeah, the bottom lane for me was kind of a big issue because HR didn't have a way of addressing it. Like, normally we see a lot of these dual off lanes that have like a Queen and an Undying or a Spear Breaker and another ranged hero who demand that the enemy team stays in lane to make sure that the core hero gets farm. But in this game, Black was able to free farm the jungle the whole time. And Pylai sat in the lane the whole time. And both of those heroes just complete free farm until Dread actually had his blink. In the first blink engagement that he tried to go for, he couldn't even kill the support. Like, Pylai just sensed it and walked away. So everything considered, like, Team Tinker just had a really greedy draft that they were able to play as greedily as they wanted. And HR were never able to punish them. It was so dependent on the Warlock ultis coming in huge and the Batrider lassos coming in huge, and they just weren't good enough.
Dread, blinking forward, is able to find the Lasui onto Pylai. The charge to follow it up as well. Can they kill this Lina quick enough? There's a Thunderstrike, and now Artez comes in for the cleanup. They do find the Lina. And off the back of that, looks like Team Marino, Tinkerino, a little bit spooked. They don't want to fight 4v5.
Yeah, no reason to give them any chance for a huge comeback. Just play it until Pylai is alive again. And Roshan's up, so maybe HR take the opportunity to go for that. But even still, like, Black is being a nuisance, pushing in the top lane, forcing HR to react to his lane pushing. I don't know, though. I don't even want to say that Team Tinker necessarily outdrafted them that hard. I just think that they adhered to their game plan better. Like, it was just a couple of picks, nothing big. They farmed. Bulba caught a couple of heroes out with a Sunstrike and an Impale. Even though Way2 and Bulba died a few times under sentries in pretty silly ways, it just never really amounted to any big pressure. Like, there was no straight up push down a lane to Rax, or like they didn't get Roshan. They didn't really get any big objective off the map. So Team Tinker to me are just, they're playing it like a well-oiled machine today.
Yeah, they really are. And it's interesting to kind of see the development of Tinker as well over the weeks that we've seen them here at DreamLeague, because I mean, it certainly feels just over time. Obviously, they have been spending time at the player house and scrimming together. Yep. And I really feel that their performance has just been on the up overall over the weeks.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you boot camp, you're going to have some varying degree of team cohesion, you know? Like, it's going to be good on some days, it's going to be bad on others when you're not together. But when you're together and you're hanging out all the time, and as far as I know, they're all pretty good friends too.
Yeah.
So that probably helps with, like, communication and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much better they get over time.
Yeah,
because I like these kind of
yeah.
drafts. I love the way that Way2 picks for his team, and picking heroes that aren't seen as much like Nyx and having this degree of success with it and understanding how it can be such a good pick in situations where you get your dual off lane, so your Nyx gets a lot of EXP out of his lane. I mean, I'm only saying that a little bit because I'm biased, because I like Nyx, but I still feel
And
that,
you like Sam.
Yeah, I like Sam too, of course. I like everybody on Team Tinker. They're all really cool guys. I don't think it's an out draft, just good play.
I mean, it really seems like that. I mean, Black's had a fantastic game in terms of fun, because they've just really not been able to do anything to disrupt him in the early stages of the game. You know, he got that very quick Midas, and as we saw, he just went into the jungle, gave Lina free farm of the solo lane, and it just seems like Hellraisers weren't able to do anything to punish that movement.
Yeah, but that's because Dread had to farm Blink. So in the normal cases where we see dual offlane, only one of the heroes farms, but they both always stay there. Like when we saw the Undying and the Queen from Solo and Mag, they stayed in the lane and just constantly pressured. That was the whole purpose of the lane, is just to pressure. I feel like HR picked a lane that wanted to pressure, and then they realized that the Batrider Spearbreaker lane wasn't working, and then went to plan B, which is obviously get Dread Blink as soon as humanly possible, and that allows Black to free farm the woods.
Artez is going to give Roshan a shot, but well, blink forward from Way2. He finds the lead seed onto Artez. Quakefor's there to back him up as well. They don't want to try and fight up into the high ground. They're a little bit unaware of the whereabouts of the rest of Hellraiser's team. There's no point fighting in blind at this point. Top lane, Black keeping the pressure on and getting the old Necro units onto those racks. He's already managed to do half damage to these ranged racks here on the top lane. And what with the space that Team Tinker managed to create by spooking Artez and getting him out of there, they can look to take Roshan themselves. Now, can Hellraisers contest this? Artez, he's on the stairs, ready to go in Goretz. He's ready with the charge. Team Tinker, they back out. They really don't want to be caught in this kind of chokehold. And at the same time, Black, he's just standing strong at the top lane, looking for the racks. Artez will go back in for the Roshan. Now we're going to see any kind of big plays. There's going to be Black caught out by a static storm in a kinetic field. It's getting low, it's getting low. Bulba with the stun onto Dread, but the golems, they're stopping the side of Team Tinker getting in. Way too with the overgrowth, holding Artez and Goretz in place. There's your second golems coming down. They will still find Roshan the Dire, and Troll Warlock gets himself the Aegis. So far, 2 heroes down, 1 on each side. The Drian and the Batrider falling charge onto Pilot Die. Quavo with the Yules onto Troll Warlock. The stun will catch Goretz. Pilot Die will fall though. They do also lose Goretz on this Spirit Breakers. A 2-for-2 trade so far. Yules onto the Troll, holding him back, trying to get Bulba and Quafer out of there. They don't want to be fighting into 4 Warlock golems here, sitting in the jungle. Maybe Bulba does. Nah, he's going to blink away just before the punch comes through. Isn't going to hang around any time sooner, but a 2-for-2 trade. But Hellraisers, they did come out with the Roshan, and they did come out with the Aegis still intact on the Troll.
It was a very good trade, as now Artez can just buy his entire Scotty if he wants to. And he'll also be able to hold on to the Aegis like you mentioned, so he gets caught.
Oh, he does. Meteor, Deafening Blast and a Tornado to the face. The Cypher Vice to follow, but Black, has he got any backup? Yes, he has. Bulba coming in with the stun. Sunstrike will come down as well as the heal from Warlock. Going to be enough? No, it's not. They do manage to take the Aegis off his hands.
All right, so much for that. Bulba walking past the courier casually. Oh, there was a gem on it too, so. Yeah, that would have been a huge courier snipe if Bulba was able to get that. I don't think he was watching. I think he was looking at the minimap. Happens a lot when you're playing Nyx, actually. Trying to spot out the heroes and not actually looking at your character at that point in time. But they dropped double golems. They got, I think, 2 kills right from the pit.
Yeah, it was a 2
and the
for 2.
Aegis. So I don't think it was as good as HR wanted it to be. But in the situation that they're given, it's still okay. Like, ideally, you would have our tests with an Aegis right now and a BKB charge up that's still like 8 seconds, and then you go down and try to kill some towers.
Top lane, Black's going to get lassoed here by Dread. Static Storm gets thrown down as well. The kinetic field to control Black, and Black could be in a bit of trouble. Try to get himself to the edge so he can cast something, but the charge from Spirit Breaker will be able to secure the kill onto the Invoker, and he's down now for 70 seconds. Does have buyback though. That's a nice bit of gold there. The dominating streak, bonus gold going to SB.
Yeah, getting pickoffs on Black, very high priority targets. The biggest concern is HR even getting those kills. Look at their lanes. Like, how are they going to push? They have every single lane past their river, and some of the lanes are just at their base. So even with a pick on a hero that is worth a lot, he's going to have Lincoln soon, as is what he's saving up for with his Perseverance, I can only imagine. And he has bots, so he can just be right back in the fight if HR try to continue forcing their presence out. Is everyone buying Lincolns on this team? Pilot Eye has one too, or will have one soon.
Oh, blink ball from Alpha Ninja, and he's got the backup as well.
He didn't see him.
Pilot Die. You don't want to be farming now, so we'll put the Yules onto the Spirit Breakers. The charge won't be there. The glimpse will as Pilot Die gets brought back to the all. Nice stun from Bulba, keeping Pilot Die alive. The overgrowth as well, holding Hellraisers in place. They get the Laguna Blade and the Light Strike around to Dread. They do bring down the Batrider, but Pilot Die does pay of his life. Are they going to lose any more Nether Strike onto way 2? It looks like they might lose the Trian as well with Artez coming in. They will indeed. It's a 2-for-1 trade in a situation that just looked unnecessary for Team Tinkerino to be caught in.
I think it was nighttime, so maybe he didn't see Affinage blink. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like he didn't see it. The fight ensued. They end up getting a kill, so making the best out of a bad situation. But again, giving away kills, like you said, it was totally unnecessary. They did not need to be in that particular position. But as we talk about that, we watch Quakefa in the woods in Black, who has just revived, and they're just absolute beasts on farm. Like, their net worth is out of control. Quakefa went from being like 2,000 ahead to 8,000 ahead of the Troll, or 7 at least. And he's going to be looking at a 6-slotted inventory here soon. I think he probably ditches Blink soon and gets Lifesteal. We'll see what he does, though.
Okay, he's a little bit on his own here, and there are a fair few heroes. They don't have any vision of the SF, though, out here. No wards in lane for the side of the Dire. And in fact, the Dire's vision as a whole isn't that great. They've only got the ward there at the choke point in their own jungle, so not going to be too aware of what's exactly going down on the side of the map of Team Tinker. And Quakefa just hiding in the trees, seeing if anyone comes out alone. But it's going to be a full force push from Hellraisers if they want to commit, as all 3-4 heroes are here on the bottom lane. Quakefa, the charge there from Goretz will remove the Lincolns, but nothing really else to follow through on that bit of a potential initiation from Hellraisers. But 22-19, as you said, the net worth still looking very, very tasty for both Black and Quakefa, and it's a long way for Artez to go to if he wants to try and catch up.
Well, they did get a little bit back by getting those picks, and we are still at a stage where even losing 1 or 2 heroes is worth quite a bit. So they need to be very careful about getting themselves out of position too many times. You can give the Troll like an extra item, like a damage item, for example, or a butterfly, and then suddenly he feels super strong. And Dread knows that Black is near here, but he's not going to be able to find him.
I guess this is definitely the great thing about the Lincolns in this situation is we've pretty much seen all the favourable engagements come off the charge from the Spirit Breaker, and now the Spirit Breaker can't charge him. There's no way to close that gap.
Everyone is going to have Lincolns soon.
Yeah.
Like Qualifier has Lincolns, Black has Lincolns, Pilot will have Lincolns. It's on its way right now. I mean, the Knicks could even build one. It's not bad to go mass Lincolns against this type of team. It's really not. Because if somebody gets their Lincolns taken off, you can just re-Lincolns them if you're in a good position. So you know they're not going to just switch to you, right? And you can make it so that the bat can almost never lasso, or the Spirit Breaker can like never ulti anybody. It's very, very frustrating because they just don't have that many spells to break through Lincolns. Like they can force staff you to break it, but that means that Dread won't have force staff for himself to get out of the fight. And I'm pretty sure nobody else on their team has anything item-wise that breaks it. So yeah, it's quite frustrating for them.
This is nice. There's been a bit of a passive play between the two sides, but now Team Areno, Tinkerino straight away with the smoke up. Daedalus complete on Qualifier on this Shadow Fiend, and Artez, he's just sitting there. It takes a Laguna Blade to the face. We'll pop the BKB and walk it off. Golems come down once, and they're going to refresh, get the second one down onto Qualifier and Bulba. Light Strike Ray trying to hold back the side of Hellraisers. Nice Tornado catches Dread out. The Deafening Blast and the Chaos Meteor will follow as well. Dread has popped the BKB. Your Scepter onto your Troll and onto the Nyx Assassin. Nether Strike onto Pilot Die, but Goretz gets held in place by the Overgrowth. Pilot Die caught in the Static Storm will be the first to fall. Now they're going to focus their attention to Wade 2. He goes down as well. Two heroes falling so far on the side of Team Tinker. They get the slow onto Qualifier and Black, but Black's a little bit speedy here as he puts the point away. Now Dread gets the Lasso onto Qualifier. Qualifier goes down. Three heroes falling on the side of Team Tinker and Hellraisers. Now they played that perfectly.
Yeah, but Team Tinker also initiated poorly. Like when you go on that, you have to stun. Like you have to stun first and then try to burst. You have to wait for the Nyx. And they didn't wait, so essentially what happens is Pilot Die, he pops his ulti out of stun because he knows even if he lands a Yules on him, he'll BKB before he can land the stun. So if you just wait for Bulba with Vendetta to stun out of it and hit Artez, he probably dies there because Black has Hex. So if you wait for the Hex, or you wait for the stun, he dies. If you jump like that, you put yourself in a really, really bad spot. And even with the Overgrowth hitting all the Golems and Gorak at the same time and stopping their damage output for a couple of seconds, it was just really poorly coordinated.
Nyx Assassin is going to find Batrider here in the jungle, and he's going to give it a go here with the help of Black. They do find the Tornado. They will force Dread to pop the BKB. Dread finds himself a haste, though, and he will be able to get himself out of there. Thunderstrike onto Bulba, the glimpse into the Static Storm as well, with the backup of Dread, with the Lasso. Afro Ninja in the charge coming in from Goretz. That will be a very, very dead Nyx Assassin, and Gem of True Sight does hit the decks here, and goes the way of the side of Hellraisers. So another nice pick-off, 23-22. I think if we have a look at the net worth graph, I don't know if it's changed yet.
It's changed a lot.
It's still working, but it's certainly swinging round.
Yeah, I mean, this is the risk that you run when you, what is that, 3 or 4 engagements in a row where Team Tinker were either out of position or just got outplayed. So yeah, I mean, this is the impact that it has. You are not allowed to make that many consecutive mistakes and a team not be able to punish you for it, especially as someone as Hellraisers. So it's kind of weird to watch because looking at this game 10 minutes ago, I would have said that Team Tinker would have had a very hard time losing because of the advantage that they had. Their item progression was on point. But just the Roshan engagement, getting caught in the woods after Roshan, taking that team fight without waiting for a disable first on the Troll to make sure that he doesn't BKB and just walk away. They're giving HR the engagements that they want by trying to go on the hardest hero to kill and not even executing it the right way. So yeah, I'd say HR are fully back in the game right now.
Roshan is up and has been pinged out by the side of Hellraisers as the Troll did send in the dominated creep, so it could be a point of contention. There's just Cypher Vice onto Goretz, and Goretz getting bursted down straight away. Spirit Breaker removed from the fight. Overgrowth catches out Alpha Ninja. Where's the rest of the side of Team Arena? Tinkerino to follow it up. They're getting caught out by the first Golem there. BKB popped by Qualifier, thinking about turning and fighting against Artez, but he's going to get Lasuda by Dread, drags him away from the rest of his team. Tornado from Black, only going to catch on the Goddown because BKB has been popped by Artez, and Artez will bring down the Shadow Fiend. Qualifier is dead. The slow from the Skadi does catch Pilot Die, blink forward from Dread. Light Strike Array onto Artez, Goddamn coming forward with the right click, with the kinetic field, catching a few of them. Afro Ninja going in with the right clicks, does get affected by the spike carapace. Artez still trying to find Pilot Die, and now with the second Golems coming down, Pilot Die will use himself, but his death is inevitable, does fall. It's a 2-for-2 trade so far. Black trying to get away, blink forward from Dread, trying to body block him up. Artez trying to get in there with the bashes, with the slows from the ranged axes. He'll find it. There will be the Ghost Walk, and they know they can see him. They've got the gem, of course, on the Batrider, and that's going to be a dead Invoker as well. Double kill to Artez. Bulba might find Goddamn pops the kinetic field. He's able to walk out of it, I think. No.
What?
Bulba, come on, mate.
He's exploiting the bug.
Bulba.
I don't know if he actually knows
He
about it.
does die, though. I think he's going to die anyway. He doesn't find the kill onto the Disruptor.
Oh, Blink? He might not be dead.
Oh, Blink 4 from Dread.
He's got 2 seconds on Carapace here. He's got Force Staff too.
Is he a bit...
He's got another Blink. Come on, Bulba. No, he's dead.
He is dead.
Yeah.
He is dead. Trin also did find Disrupted off the back of it, and Way2's...
Yeah, they're losing their base, though.
He's nearly taking the top racks. There's going to be a charge now from Goretz onto Way2. Pops the overgrowth very nicely there to cancel the charge. Looks for another strike, but Way2 gets himself up to the high ground. Goretz doesn't have the vision to follow it through. But, so that kinetic field, what actually happened there, Draskell? Because...
So there's like a specific way you can bug it out by using an item and like another command, like a move command or something, and it stops the thing from clipping you. And that's actually what happened in the game where we saw the Juggernaut walk through the wall as well. He just did it on accident.
Are you
Because
sure?
you could tell that he panicked when he did it because he like clicked back. But that one was like very intentional.
Oh,
yeah, he used Force, but that shouldn't just bug out the wall on its own. It has to be something else because Force doesn't get you out of the wall.
you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because he didn't actually force over the wall, he walked out of it.
No, it did look like he walked over the wall. Yeah, Goretz pops the BKB now. There's going to be the TP in from the Shadow Fiend to charge onto Way2. Here's Dread, comes in with the true sight from his jam, and they should be able to find the kill on Trin. He's fairly tanky, but not tanky enough. Will go down, hits the punches of the Spirit Breaker. He did walk over, but used Force right before it.
Yeah, before, yeah.
It got into effect.
Yeah. So he did exploit it. Like he did it intentionally. I think so. I don't 100%, but I mean, if it's in the game, as Valve would say, you can use it.
I'll have to check Reddit after, see if there's any threads.
Reddit posts.
That's how I kind of judge. I give that about a 7 out of 7 Reddit threads.
Yeah, but there was a post actually written about it a couple days ago.
There was about, wasn't there?
Yeah, on Reddit. It was about the bugging of kinetic fields. So
Black
catch
with the
here.
scythe. Yeah, Goretz there. The punches are quite for this is going to be a pretty dead Spirit Breaker. Yep, that is definitely dead. He's going to be wiped off the face of the earth for 80 seconds. Artez coming in for a bit of action. There will be a tornado coming in from Black. And double gem on the courier at the moment as the gem is retrieved. Black throws down the old ball. Artez, he's not going to be able to run through that one anytime soon. And Black should be able to get away. Oh, hello, Alpha Ninja and Dread coming in. Dread. Can he find himself the lasso here? Does have it available, but Black with the Ghost Walk. He's well and truly gone. Dread does blink forward, but so does Black as he blinks himself down the lane. Bulba.
Your base is in trouble.
Well, it is a little bit. Tier 3 goes down, and only a couple of racks away from being mega creeped. BKB popped by Dread. He's trying to find Bulba here on the Nyx Assassin. They do get the glimpse off onto him. He gets brought back into the Static Storm, but they actually kill the Disruptor there. And now they might be able to find Dread as well. Oh, the Tornado, it's a very long one, slightly off point. But now with the Blink 4 from Black with the Cypher Vice onto Dread. Bulba's hitting down as well. They do have the nuke there. The final punch is flying through from the Wizard himself. They find a kill onto Dread. Batrider, Sunstrike. It was looking for... for Alpha Ninja. There's going to be a smoke up now. MKB has been picked up by Troll. It was a buyback from the Batrider. And indeed, their base is not looking in the best of shapes, Hellraisers.
Yeah, if Team Tinker had been making the kind of sloppy plays that they were before the racks had died, I think it would have been much different. But now they're just getting ratted to death. Like, they just lost their top melee racks for nothing. Black just goes in and kills it, and they only have 3 people alive. SP just res, though, so if they want to try to fight this, they can. I just think it's a waiting game now for Team Tinker. They don't have to commit to the base 100%. They just need to find little openings, like take small fights, have either Black or Quakefa teleport to a lane because they both have bots and just deal damage.
Royal Scepter onto your Batrider on the high ground. He pops the BKB, forces himself forward, finds the lasso here onto Pylite Die. Artez, he's actually turning his attention elsewhere, but now he'll go back for Pylite Die. The Nether Strike comes through from Goretz, and they do bring down the Lina there.
Yeah, very, very nice pick for HR, with no buyback as well. Makes it much harder for Team Tinker to play the style that they want, which is just try to force small fights and then use your other heroes who deal high damage to the base to just rat. But there's only one set of racks to really focus on now anyway, so it's always going to be a bit easier to react to that kind of pushing. But still, I feel like HR are on the back foot just because their base is dead. I mean, if they had not lost mid in the first place, I think they would have had a very good chance of winning this late, but they still got to try to find a way to equalize the advantage that Team Tinker has. And I think Roshan might be a good way to do that. Like, you can drop the Dominator on Artez, pick up the Aegis, and then try to fight and go down mid. Because I think the Troll has the capability of killing base very quickly with this item. Like, these items, he hits for over 300. So he can kill the base pretty darn quick.
Okay, they've still got 30 seconds of time here before Pylite dies back up. All Black, teeping into the top lane, getting his army out, but there's a lot of Hellraisers about here. He's going to be able to blink away. Lincoln's has been popped there with the Ghost Walk. Black, he's fine, he's out there, and he won't be able to charge him down today.
Well, fortunate for him that he has not died here. He does have ton of money, though. Wonder what he's buying. He bought another Perseverance. Is he going Refresher? I guess he's going Refresher. Yeah, it makes the most sense.
Would be pretty nice.
Yeah, double Scythe, double Book. Being able to refresh your Forge Spirits as well. Like, you could, like, refreshing everything on Evoker is great, so.
Team Tinker here, they've got 3 heroes, the Nyx, the Trin, and of course Qualifier on the SF. Smoked up here on the bottom lane. Looking to see if they're going to get a jump in. There's your jump in with the stun here onto goddamn Sunstrike as well, and the Requiem blows up the Disruptor. And that Disruptor doesn't have buyback. Now Alpha Ninja coming in with the Golem, catches 3 as well. Very nice. The Tornado though, stopping the Warlock and the Spirit Breaker from falling down anymore, but now comes your Refresher. The Golems come down again. Qualifier blows up. They're going to find way 2 as well here. 3 heroes are down, but indeed, Blackie's going for the base. There will be a fortification that stops him for the time being. The Forge Spirit's still hammering away, but Blackie's been scythed up now. Can they kill him? Can they get him out of his base? Well, is he going to get out of the base with his life intact? He's trying his best. Will Ghostwalk Dread, does he have the gem on him at the moment? He does. He has got a blink available, and Ana Lasso as well. Blackie's in a lot of trouble. Goret's coming in with the charge. They're going to let the Space Cat lead the way. But now, wait, Batrider does have a blink and Lasso available, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he had Lincolns on.
Yes, of course. Okay. But
he had to wait for everything to be up because he needed to be able to blink, force staff to break the Lincolns, and then use a lasso. But he wasn't expecting that Black was going to turn to Hex.
That connected. Could he not blink?
No, but the Lincolns came up after the charge.
Okay, it came off cooldown after. Okay.
Because that's the only reason he was able to get the charge off in the first place. His Lincolns wasn't up. But yeah, I think he was waiting for Gorak to hit so he could then go in. But Black with the outplay, very nicely done. He got a lot of damage on the range racks that doesn't regenerate, and he got away from what, a 3 or 4 man chase. So very well played.
There was a couple of nice golems, though, from Alpha Ninja to find the kills that they could there on the bottom lane. But as you said, things just looking slowly worse and worse in terms of their base situation here on the side of Hellraisers. Artez pushing up the mid lane on his own. There's going to be a Lina hanging around and nothing else. So Artez, he's pretty much safe to go where he fancies. Now, with the BKB and the Satanic, this troll, he's going to be hard to bring down, and maybe Team Marino and Team Carino won't look to do that, and they will look indeed to just kind of fight around him and just prioritize getting mega creeps.
They can't kill him, not a chance. Like, if they're taking a 5-on-5, I would say HR win pretty much every single time. There's very few ways to outplay this level of farm on a troll. Like, you would have to crowd control him for a very long period of time to be able to kill him in the first place, and that's not even including like double golems, Spirit Breaker being a nuisance.
Oh, Dreb pops the BKB, finds the onto quite firm with Artez here. This Shadow Fiend is in a lot of trouble in the Static Storm as well, will get blown up. And that is Qualifier dying yet again in the same place he actually died earlier in the fight. And I mean, they're losing heroes.
Yeah, HR are ahead in terms of experience and gold now. Like, the thing is, Team Tinker threw their advantage away. Like, just, like, you know what? We're doing really well. Let's just throw for like 10 straight minutes.
Black.
And now they're in this spot.
Is he going to go for the rat here? He's hanging around.
No, he can't. The creeps are too far away from the base. Like, he's just looking for a pick, maybe. Like, maybe catch out somebody with a Hex and then try to go for a kill. Or maybe just try to bait out Pylai Die, I guess. But no one's really going for him, so yeah. Tinker have kind of squandered their advantage in a big way. But they're still ahead only by virtue of racks. He might be able to get this.
What, through the regen?
Yeah, because the
very low.
The range racks doesn't have as much armor as the melee racks anyway, and has a lot less HP.
He's going to give it a shot.
He can't.
Yeah. Test the waters and realize it's not for him. He's going to walk into Alpha Ninja, but Alpha Ninja doesn't. Oh, he does not have any detection now. Batrider coming in with the Shadow Blade has the gem on him. But yeah, Black's going to be way out of there. They do send both the Spirit Breaker and the Troll to wrap around the bottom of this jungle. They do see Black is slowing them down with the Ghost Walk, but the Necro units, they've managed to find the range racks at the bottom of the Nether Strike from Goretz. They do kill the Invoker. Pylai Die tries to DB away, and he's going to be able to get it off with the Lincoln Sphere, blocking the lasso there. But they do lose the Invoker, but they also found the range racks.
It's getting close, down to the wire here for HR. Can they defend the base long enough? The way that Team Tinker are playing this is they just have 2 heroes constantly pressuring lanes, and because they're both so farmed, HR need to send like 2 or 3 heroes minimum to kill one, which is not what you want. Like, ideally, you would have 1 hero to gank 1 hero, and that way it would leave the other 4 to be able to deal with a second, but it's just not the case. Like, they can't keep committing those kinds of resources to killing just 1, like getting just Black or just Qualifier, and then not even having to expend buyback. They need to not only pick, but they need to force the enemy to buy out in fear of Roshan or in fear of their base getting pushed.
And Pylai Die, they are around this Troll Warlock, but I don't know if these two can take him down on their own.
Not enough damage.
I mean, Goddamn's here as well. He will throw out the stun, and yeah, we'll just blink away here. Sam doesn't want to stay around for any kind of fight at this point, but he will. Look, Hellraisers, Jimmy's have been rustled, and they're heading straight into the jungle, looking to see if they can find anyone off the back of this Dread with the Shadow Blade. trying to close the gap in, Troll. He's going to head north, and they're going to be fine, the side of Team Tinker. Well, Trian is in the nearby neighborhood. Now, TP back now. They've got to defend the bases. Both the mid lanes and the top lanes are being pushed in very heavily due to obviously the bonus from the creeps.
It's a good thing Tinker played so well for the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, they would have lost this game, like, pretty hard. And I guess you could say that's down to the draft and stuff, but I really think that this game could have gone either way from a very early stage. I really like the fact that HR were willing to pick a hero like Warlock, something that we don't see. They just had such a long period of time where it didn't do anything, like 15 minutes straight, where I was like, this Warlock hasn't ulted, they haven't tried to push, they haven't gotten any big objectives out of it at all. It was only like later in the game when Team Tinker started playing really over-aggressive that the Warlock started paying off. So I actually think it was Team Tinker's own aggression that made the Warlock pick work, not even the fact that Warlock itself was a good pick, if that makes sense. I don't know. We'll see, though. HR is still holding on here by a thread. Their range racks is, or excuse me, melee rack standing bottom is still full health.
Trian, he's walking under a dire observer ward here. He is, of course, under the cover of nature's guise. There's no sentry down at this point of the map. And he does have the acronyms, trying to get some vision up for the side of Team Tinker in the dire jungle. And Butterfly now picked up on your Troll Warlord. So Troll, I mean, if he wasn't already, he is looking very, very stacked indeed.
That's a hard 6 slot. I don't think you replace any of those items. Maybe you get rid of MKB for crit, but even then you would want MKB for the Shadow Fiend. So maybe he stays with these items for the rest of the game. I guess you could buy Refresher if you want to swap out your inventory slots and like refresh BKB.
Back. He's got a creep wave coming in here. He's going to have to back off though. He has also got Nyx Assassin and Lina, Pylodie and Bulba around in the bottom lane. But it is just this final bit of breaking the base of Hellraisers. It's kind of just all down to when they slip up, and that little opening's there that's going to allow someone like Black to sneak past them all and get the pressure onto those final sets of racks.
Well, can they find the opening? Roshan could be the next point of contention here for either team. Even in the situation where you get Megad, an Aegis could give HR enough power to be able to just steamroll through a lane. But it would require Team Tinker messing up significantly. Like, they would have to really, really biff it to let that happen to them. And Qualifier just casually buys an entire Necro 3 because you just got that kind of gold sitting around, so he'll probably swap out his Blink Dagger, pop the Necro, keep pushing in the lane, and then put his Blink back in his inventory. Yeah,
he's got the second courier as well coming out to hold it for him. As they have, I mean, look at this. They're going for Roshan, but the creeps, they're into the dire base.
Yeah, if Black comes out and backdoors this before they finish Roshan.
I mean, Hellraisers, they need to get back here.
He needs to hurry. They need to hurry. The creeps are in the base, yeah. This is Megas, I think. They have Glyph. Are they going to TP? Dread's coming in first.
And we'll find the Golem there to hold Black in place. If they got back up, well, with the Sheepstick, look at the damage the Golem are doing, and the Lasso there holding Black in place. They do kill the Rat. Rat has been exterminated, and they do also, oh no, sorry, Radiant found the Roshan. They managed to steal it, but Aegis and Cheese did go to the dire. So, I mean, those punches of the Treant, you can't knock them, even at 60 minutes into a game. Pylodie getting caught in the midst of all, but he has managed to take the racks. Mega Creeps are now favoring the side of the Radiant, and Hellraisers, even though they take 3 heroes down in the last few seconds, is not a position that anyone wants to be in.
Absolutely not. I can't believe Way2 got the last set on Roshan. You know, he was probably just panic clicking to try to get the Aegis because he got an overgrowth off before it was dead. And then he got glimpsed like at the same time Roshan died. And he got the cheese, so that's cool. But he didn't get the Aegis, which is obviously the better of the two in this late game. So yeah, bit of a bummer. Megas can actually, you can still win if you're HR, even against Megas, but this is the time that you need to try to push. I mean, they just got a Scotty on their Spirit Breaker. Who gets to a point in the game where your Spirit Breaker has a freaking Scotty? That's insane. I don't think I've ever seen a Scotty on a Spirit Breaker.
Oh, looks like they're going to go for the final Huzzah maybe in the mid lane. They do have the Spirit Breaker, the Bat Rider, and the Warlock ready to go. Did I finish to use the second Golems there, or has he still got the Refreshers?
No, he used them both.
No, he used them both. Okay, use them both. But
they had to use the second one to defend the base.
I've of course got the boots of Travel on the Troll to get him as well to commit to this push, but
fighting this without ultis, I don't know, man, that's tough.
It is
and everyone on Team Tinker has buyback as well, except for Tree. Tree's the only one who doesn't have buyout, so 4 buybacks. Can they do it?
Can they do it? Can Hellraisers really turn this one around? 61 minutes after being mega creeped, yet to break the base at all on the side of the Radiant. They're going in for the tier 3. They will find the tier 3. Tier 3 falls in the mid lane. Tornado catching a couple of them. Deafening Blast not following as of yet. The Meteor did come down. BKB pop by Goretz looking for the Nether Strike onto Black, but Black was able to get himself back. Qualifier coming in with the punches. Now Dread with the lasso onto Qualifier. There's a Laguna Blade coming out to Chris, but he's not enough damage at this point. Qualifier goes down in the Static Storm. He does have buyback, will use it straight away. Artez getting caught out by the Deafening Blast down to half health. Nice overgrowth. They're catching out for the yours actually, meaning Spirit Breaker doesn't get caught out by that. They lose Artez. Artez does have buyback. Afro Ninja getting low. He'll go down alongside the Spirit Breaker as Black gets a double kill. Goddamn pops his BKB, tries to run away. Then comes the Cold Snap, the Leech Seed, and the punches from Qualifier bring him down once. There was a buyback from the Trouble, but he's not getting himself back in the fight. He's just trying to defend the base. Qualifier blows up the Disruptor there with the Requiem of Souls, and now they TP into the bottom lane. Qualifier and Black, they're ready to finish off the game. There's 3 heroes down on Hellraisers for more than 70 seconds, none of them with buyback. They took their time, Team Tinker, but 63 minutes in, it looks like they might be able to break the tier 4s down and break the base. Oh, well, they're going to try and give it a final fight. Warlock has now got the gold to buy back. Artez is there as well. Can they do anything? They don't have the Warlock ulti. I mean...
Well, they have one ulti.
They have one ulti.
Nah, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, Yule Scepter. Light Strike Array comes down with the Deafening Blast. There's your Warlock ulti. Dread going in with the BKB, trying to grab Quake. He does find it, but the Laguna Blade and the punches from Pylite Die bring down your Bat. Bat will buy back. Sunstrike onto Artez. A little with the Satanic fighting up against Quake. Bash, 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 bash. Brings down the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend is dead for 2 minutes, but the Mega Creeps, they're on the base. Boba, he found the kill onto Warlock. Warlock doesn't have buyback. Wait till he comes back in with the Overgrowth. Black and Pylite Die should be able to finish this off as Artez will get sent up into the air. He's still alive for the time being. It doesn't matter. GG is called. The base is destroyed. 64 or 5 minutes in. Team Tinker do win a game that, I mean, it looked like they won it quite a while ago.
They made it hard on themselves.
Quite a little bit. I think there was about a, 25,000 net worth lead halfway through the game. They got totally nullified.
Yep.
And, I mean, if only Hellraisers could have come back with that amount of aggression just a little bit earlier before they lost the base, we could have been seeing a very different result here.
I think HR would have won had they not gotten that first set of racks. Like, that was the big part where you say, okay, well, now one lane's permanently pushing in. Black ratted the rest of the base. Like, he actually just went in there by himself with Necro Books and Forge Spirits and just rat. And speaking of, this is the patch that I would call the Return of the Rat. As 6.84 is apparently live, so between this game...
No.
Yes, it is live.
Oh,
so there's going to be a patch between the first and the second game of Team Tinker versus HR.
Now, predictions. Whose play style do you feel it favors?
I honestly have no freaking clue. I'm going to say Tinker still win the next game.
I'm going to say... Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, is this going to be the first competitive match that is on 6.84? Yes,
apparently.
It is.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, stick around, Twitch chat. We're going to have some action for you here at the DreamLeague ASUS ROG Mother Trucking Season 3. Don't go anywhere. We're going to run some commercials. We're going to go over to our experts on the panel who are going to tell you some fantastic, insightful things that you guys on Twitch chat, you would have even been able to think of. Even you guys with 9K MMR. With myself and Draskell, we'll see you guys in a bit. Don't go anywhere. Game 2's going to be around the corner, but congratulations to Team Tinker who take Game 1. See you guys in a bit.